Welcome, brave soul. I am the forgotten storyteller. Before we begin, tap that like button if you dare, and drop a comment below telling me where in the world you're listening from. And if you make it to the end of this video, I hope to see you in the next story. I hope you're ready, because I am. Let's begin. The apartment sat on the 21st floor, tall and narrow like a lantern above the world. From her windows, she could see everything: the silver haze of highway lights, the fog glow of distant cranes, the slow, blinking rhythm of airplanes overhead. Her name was Lena. She lived alone, and she liked it that way. Each night, as the city curled under sleep, Lena would sit by the radiator with a blanket tucked around her legs, sipping chamomile from a chipped ceramic mug, listening. The hum of her building was its own kind of music. Faint creaks, pipes shifting gently in the walls, elevators sighing up and down like mechanical lungs. She found it comforting, until she started hearing the dragging. It began on a Tuesday. At first, it was so subtle she thought she'd imagined it. Just a low scrape, like a heavy chair, slowly moved, right below her feet. She paused her audiobook, waited. Silence. She laughed to herself, shook her head. The building was old. Old buildings made sounds. But the next night it came again. Scrape. Pause. Scrape. Long, slow. Not like someone walking. Not natural. The sound of something big being dragged across hardwood floors. She got up, walked barefoot across her warm carpet, and knelt by the vent near the floor. No music, no voices, no footsteps, only the faint, metallic scent of dust and warmth. But the dragging? It came again, a little closer to where she knelt. The apartment below hers had been empty for nearly a year. Lena knew this because the fire had gutted it, an electrical issue in the kitchen. No one had lived there since. The landlord was still in insurance battles. Even the elevator panel skipped the 20th floor when lit. So, who was moving furniture down there? By Friday, the sound returned like clockwork. Always between 2 o'clock and 2:30 a.m. Always in short bursts. Drag. Pause, drag, stop. Sometimes she would knock on the floor with her knuckles. And once, only once, she thought she heard something tap back. Just once. Like an answer. She called building management the next morning. Maybe maintenance was down there? She offered hopefully. The woman on the line chuckled. Honey, there's no maintenance crew at 2 in the morning. That place doesn't even have power. You sure it's not the wind? Lena didn't answer, because she was sure. She became obsessed. Started sleeping with her phone recording on the nightstand. Listened to the files every morning, headphones tucked tight. And always, without fail, at 2:14 a.m. the noise would rise, like a heavy wardrobe being dragged across a bare floor. The strangest part was how quiet the dragging was. Not loud, not forceful, just steady. Like someone doing it very, very carefully so they wouldn't wake the person above. She spoke to her neighbor across the hall, an old woman named Mrs. Calder, the kind who smelled of mothballs and wore slippers with pearls on them. Oh, the apartment below, she said, eyes narrowing. Don't trouble yourself with that place. Been wrong ever since the fire. What do you mean wrong? Lena asked. The old woman leaned in, lowering her voice like she was sharing a recipe or a curse. There was a child in that fire. Not on the lease. Never found in the reports. Some say she was imaginary. Some say she wasn't. She smiled gently. But that apartment was never quiet, even after the flames went out. That night, Lena didn't drink tea. She sat near the vent, blanket wrapped tight, recording running, phone gripped in her hand. And at 2:14 a.m. it came, louder than before. Drag. Pause. Drag. And then a knock. 3 slow taps from below. She didn't breathe. Didn't blink. The knocking came again. Faster this time. Knock, knock, knock. And then, so soft she wasn't sure it was real, a child's voice. Muffled. Distorted by vents and floorboards. Whispering something. Lena leaned closer. Heart pounding like waves against a pier. The voice was saying, "Can you help me move it?" But there was no it to see. Just a whisper through concrete. And a chill that made her breath curl in the air like mist. Later, when she played the recording back, the whisper wasn't there. The dragging was, so was the knocking. But the voice was gone, almost like it was meant only for her. Sleep became harder. She started staying up later, lights on, watching the clock, waiting for 2:14. And every night it would happen. No deviation, no delay, as though something had made it part of its schedule. She looked into it, the fire report, the building's blueprints, forums about unexplained sounds and high rises. And that's when she found it. Infrasound. Low-frequency vibrations, too low for human ears to hear properly, can cause anxiety, sleeplessness, even hallucinations. Old appliances, industrial generators, HVAC units, they could all emit infrasound. But Lena's appliances were new. She had no radiator, no exposed ducts, and the power to the floor below was cut. Besides, infrasound didn't explain the knocking. That Friday something changed. At 2:14 a.m. the dragging began, but this time it didn't stop. It moved from one side of the apartment below, slowly, deliberately, to the other. Then again, and again, like something pacing, dragging its burden, over and over. 4 hours. At 4:12 a.m. it stopped. Lena hadn't moved. Her tea had gone cold. Her eyes had never left the vent. And just before dawn, when the sky turned a pale, sleepy blue, there was one last sound. Not dragging, not knocking, but the creak of her own floorboards. From just behind her. Lena didn't turn around. She couldn't. Her heart thudded so loudly she swore it might drown out the sound of breath behind her. But there was no breath. Only silence. And the sharp, ancient cold of being watched. She reached, slowly, for her phone. Its screen glowed warm in her palm. No messages. No missed calls. Just the recording still running. And on it, the tiniest creak. Just behind her left shoulder. She turned. Quite fast. Nothing there. Just the hallway. Still empty. Very dim. And still. The next morning, Lena filed a formal complaint with the landlord. When she mentioned the 2:14 a.m. dragging, he went quiet. "You know that unit's been sealed," he said. "There's no one down there." "I know," she whispered. Her voice cracked on the second word. She hung up before he could ask more. That day she searched forums for stories. Keywords like phantom noises, dragging sounds, ghost apartment, haunted floor. And she found a thread. Nearly forgotten. Started by someone named user 21214. The first post read, "If you live above it, you'll hear the dragging first. Don't answer the knocking. Don't speak to her. And if she ever makes it upstairs, leave everything behind." That night, Lena didn't wait for 2:14. She sat in the hallway with a notepad and pen. She wrote, "Who are you? Why do you drag it? What's below the floor?" She tore the page out, folded it neatly, slipped it through the vent grate in the wall. Then she waited. She didn't expect anything. Not really. But at 2:26 a.m. the dragging stopped, and something soft, like paper being pushed, slid beneath her door. She stared at it for a long time. Just a folded piece of lined paper. She picked it up, hands trembling, unfolded it slowly, and in thick, uneven pencil it read, "I'm still trying to move the bed. They're under it. Please don't fall asleep too soon tonight." That night, Lena left all the lights on. She didn't drink her tea. She didn't sit near the vent. She didn't turn on her recording. And at 2:14 a.m. the dragging began again. But it was faster now. Very urgent. Heavy. Like something struggling. At 2:18 a.m. the dragging stopped. And something else began. Crying. Very soft, high-pitched weeping. Not close, not far. Just beneath her feet. She called the building again. She didn't ask to speak to the landlord. She asked for maintenance. "Just, please," she said. "Check the unit below. Floor 20. I think something's happening." There was a long pause. Finally, a voice said, "There's no floor 20, ma'am." Lena stared at the receiver. "What?" "It skips from 19 to 21. Always has. Built that way." "No, I live above it." "Ma'am," the voice cut in, slightly shaken, "there's nothing between 19 and 21. We've had complaints like this before. But that space doesn't exist." Lena stood outside her door at dusk. The hallway was empty and very quiet. She walked to the elevator. Press B1, the lowest level. The basement. The doors opened to still air. Concrete walls. Exposed wires. Old pipes hissing faintly. And one locked door. Unmarked. It was rusty. It looked like it had not been used for many years. She stepped toward it. Put her ear against the cold metal. Nothing. Then a voice. Muffled and soft. Coming from behind the door. "I moved it. They're out now." That night there was no dragging. No knocking. No crying. Only footsteps. Going upstairs. Above her apartment. In the sealed roof level. Where no one lived. They walked slowly. Back and forth. Until 4:12 a.m. Then silence. By morning the air felt thinner. The lights flickered longer before coming on. Her phone wouldn't hold a charge. Her tea turned bitter. and the warmth of her apartment seemed to drain by degrees. That night she fell asleep without meaning to, a dreamless, cold sleep. And when she woke, her bed had moved, only a few inches, but enough. Enough that she could see something etched into the floorboards beneath. Letters, scratched in rough, trembling strokes. Move your bed. They're under yours now. Lena moved out the next day. She didn't tell anyone where she went. She changed her number, deleted her email, left the city with nothing but a single suitcase and her cat. She's never spoken of the apartment again. But sometimes at exactly 2:14 a.m. her phone lights up. No call, no message, just a faint vibration, like something dragging across the signal. Now drift. Let the story fold away like a page turned in a soft, dusty book. The night is long, but you are safe. And if you hear anything in the dark, a dragging, a knock, just remember, some floors are skipped for a reason. Let us know in the comments, would you have done the same as Lena and moved out?
Ready for spine-chilling tales that will haunt your thoughts? Subscribe to Forgotten Storyteller for eerie narrations, unsettling mysteries, and haunting stories you won't forget. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a story, because some stories refuse to stay buried. Join us, if you dare.